Welcome back to yet another episode. Today I'm doing something a little bit different, switching it up, and I'm talking about the first DVD I ever purchased, or my father ever purchased. I'd love to know what your first DVD experience was, if you remember it. If you do remember your first DVD experience, please feel free to leave it in the comments below and share it. I'd love to read your comment and kind of get a discussion going. I actually have distinct memories of this day. And just of this, it really was just one day where we got the DVD player, the DVD, my father set up the big, enormous television, which was like this wide and this thick, ridiculous in the year 2000. But it was top-notch stuff at the time. He set up the sound system and blah, blah, blah. And I was prepared to have my mind fucking blown. So the first DVD I ever watched, I ever purchased, I ever owned was the one that I have in my hands right here, The Matrix. We got it from GameStop, of all places, back in the year 2000, a year after the film came out, and it even has the old GameStop stickers. It's in good shape, by the way, a little dusty, but it's in good shape. I can't get rid of it because this show is all about nostalgia, or mostly about nostalgia, and how these movies make me feel, and this is nostalgia in a clamshell. I mean, you can't get any more nostalgic. This was my first DVD I ever had. This began all of this between my father and myself. I wanted to come in here today and talk about the day, or as far as I can remember the day. Of course, it was 20 years ago, but I distinctly remember some moments. So we went to GameStop. We got our first Blu-ray, which was used. We were a little bit late to the party, as per usual. Same thing with Blu-ray. And so we picked up The Matrix, and I remember going home, and we had just gotten the big TV. My father was putting the finishing touches on the surround sound system. I was on the couch, just waiting, just drooling, frothing at the mouth, waiting to pop on The Matrix, which I had already seen in theaters, by the way, with my father, and it changed my worldview, quite literally. It changed my perspective on the world. So this was the first time we were going to see something in great quality at home with the surround sound. It was a big deal. Trust me, if you were around at that time, it was a big deal. So I remember sitting on the couch and just frothing at the mouth, waiting for my father to finish up. And I remember bugging him, like, "Are you almost done? Are you almost done?" He's like, I'm getting there. And so he finally finishes. And we both sit down, and we didn't even watch the whole movie. In fact, we knew the scene that we wanted to watch. So we both sat down with all this new technology that was just very, very, very new to me and very alien. I had never touched a DVD before or anything like that. CDs, of course. But so we sat down, turned everything on, and I just remember the 20th Century Fox just booming from the speakers. My father had to turn the volume down because it was too loud. And so he turns it down, and we skip ahead, which was a huge deal. I mean, we're coming off of fast forwarding and rewinding. We used to have a rewinding machine that was specifically made for rewinding. It was like a red Corvette. And so we're skipping ahead, like looking at the chapters, and we're like, whoa, like chapters, you could skip ahead? That's amazing. It's like a book. So we're skipping ahead. We both knew the scene we wanted to see. And finally we get there. And it's the scene where Neo and Trinity break in to the facility. You know, the infamous scene with it's all done in bullet time, slow-mo, and it's the hallway. It's a lobby. That's really kind of what it is a lobby with the pillars. And so we put the scene on, and I'm telling you guys, I'm getting emotional thinking about it. I was in movie heaven. It was such a mind-blowing experience to see this at home on the biggest TV that I had ever seen, that we had ever owned. We went from like a 25-inch TV, 30-inch TV to like a 50-inch. It was mind-blowing. So we play the scene, and it's just the sound. I had never heard anything like this at home. You know, the sound of the machine guns and the set just being completely obliterated and falling apart. That scene is so amazing in a practical sense too. And it's just this slow motion action sequence. You guys all know it, with Trinity and Neo kicking ass. I was drooling in awe at what I was witnessing. With that said, we watched it 3 or 4 times, and then once we got our fill of that scene, watching it over and over and over again, we finally rewound it, or, went to the beginning of the film, which was really easy, which blew our minds again, and we watched the whole thing. And I fell in love with The Matrix even more. The first time I watched it, I was 11. Second time I was 12, and I still didn't really grasp all of the heavy concepts, philosophical concepts that were going on. All I know is it changed my outlook on the world. Like, what is reality? As a 12-year-old, that was pretty deep stuff to be considering, but this movie pushed it on me and forced me to think that. And so that's the reason it's my number 5 film of all time. Many reasons. I also think it's the greatest, one of the greatest sci-fi films ever, the quintessential cyberpunk hacker movie of the 90s. It's perfect. The Wachowskis, this is their masterpiece. I don't think they'll ever top it. And no, I'm not very excited for Matrix 4. I don't understand what they could do. The story's closed out, it's over, but we're still getting Matrix 4 because money. Of course, I love Keanu, and I can't wait to see him in it with Carrie-Anne Moss, and even Lana Wachowski's coming back to direct it, so they better have a good idea. Either way, I wanted to come in here today and just talk about my first DVD experience. From the first DVD I picked up to the first DVD I watched, which happened to be the same one. That is The Matrix, and it's a day that I'll never forget. I remember it distinctly well. Our memories fail us a lot of the times, but certain integral moments of our lives we really latch onto and tuck away somewhere in our brains for days like this, where I can get on the internet and talk about that day. And of course it means a lot too, because my father and I were bonding, obviously, before shit started going crazy with my family. So it has a lot of connotations to it that just really evoke a lot of emotions for me. But amidst all of the things that were going on in my life, we connected over the first DVD, and the sound system and the crazy big TV. We connected over The Matrix. And it's a day I'll never forget, and I really wanted to come in here today and share that day, that moment with you guys. So hopefully you enjoyed me rambling on about my first DVD experience and what it did for me as a 12-year-old boy. It blew my fucking mind.
Now, Tank, now.
I just want to thank you guys for checking out this episode. It's a brand new sort of thing that I'm doing. It's just sort of a nostalgic memories sort of video. It's not really going to be a series. Maybe, if there are other movies that have made me feel similar ways, or I distinctly remember in certain ways nostalgically. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, I'm all out of order. New to the channel, feel free to hit the subscribe button and the little bell for notifications. Anyway, guys, I will see you next time. Bored Cyborg, out. Man, I hate when I don't have any good endings. Oh well.